Good day everyone! Welcome to our class report for today. I am Nikki Fernandez and with my co-reporter for this topic, Miss Katharina Fat. So for today, I am going to introduce to you who John Locke is. We are going to tackle the short background story of John Locke, and we will also tackle his philosophical perspectives on the self. While Miss Katharina Fat will tackle the 5 learning insights from John Locke's philosophical perspectives on life. So now, let's begin to explore a short background story about John Locke's life. So John Locke is an English philosopher and a physician. John Locke was born on August 29, 1632 at Rington, Somerset, England. He died on October 28, 1704 in High Laver, Essex after his 72nd years of living. So he died at the age of 72. John Locke was named after his father John Locke of Pernsford, and his mother's name is Agnes Keene, or also known as Anne Keene of Rington. And by the way, both his parents were Puritans. Puritans means that someone who believes that it is important to work hard and control yourself, and that pleasure is wrong or unnecessary, and as such, Locke was raised that way. John Locke is considered as the father of liberalism because he helped establish key principles that continue to shape modern democratic societies. He studied science and medicine at Oxford University, one of the world's top research universities, and boasts world-class facilities for study and research. So now we are done with John Locke's short background story. So let's proceed to John Locke's philosophical perspectives of the self. For him, our human mind is a tabula rasa, or also known as a mind self at birth is a blank state. Conscious awareness and memory of previous experiences are the keys in understanding the self. So, in this statement, according to John Locke, the human mind is like a tabula rasa, which is a Latin term meaning a blank state. This implies that at birth, our minds are devoid of pre-existing content or innate knowledge. John Locke further emphasizes that understanding oneself is dependent on conscious awareness and the memory of past experiences. Essentially, the idea is that our identity and self-awareness develop through the accumulation of conscious experiences and memories throughout our lives. So, for example, while we are communicating with other people in different environments, we can carefully observe our experiences with them that lead us to learnings or being knowledgeable. Certainly, the example provided echoes the idea discussed earlier, emphasizing that conscious observation of experiences during communication serves as a key mechanism for learning and gaining knowledge about oneself. It aligns with the concept that awareness and memory of interactions contribute to the understanding of the self as a dynamic and evolving entity. So now I am done with my discussion with the short background of John Locke and his philosophical perspectives of the self. And Miss Katharina Fat will proceed to the 5 learning insights from John Locke's philosophical perspectives.
So good morning everyone. In continuation to our report about John Locke, I am here to discuss and present the 5 learning insights from John Locke's philosophical perspectives. So here are the 5 learning insights from John Locke's philosophical perspective. So the first one is the tabula rasa. Locke's concept of tabula rasa suggests that individuals are born with a blank slate, and knowledge is required through sensory experiences. This idea challenges the notion of innate ideas, proposing that mind is initially devoid of content. The second one is natural rights. Locke argued for existence of natural rights, life, liberty, and property, as fundamental and inherent to all individuals. These rights form the basis of his political philosophy, influencing later thinkers and contributing to the development of modern democratic principles. So to better understand this insight, the natural right, Locke emphasizes three natural rights. So these are the right to life, the right to liberty, and the right to property. So for the right to life, he believes that every individual has the inherent right to life. This right forms the basis of other natural rights, as without life, the enjoyment of any other rights becomes impossible. So for the right to liberty, he asserted that individuals have the right to freedom and autonomy. This entails the freedom to make choices, pursue one's interest, and act in a manner that does not infringe upon the rights of others. And lastly is the right to property. His concept of property is not limited to land or material possessions, but encompasses the idea that individuals have a natural right to the fruits of their labor. He believed that when individuals mix their labor with resources from the state of nature, they acquire rightful ownership. So, these natural rights, according to Locke, exist independently of government, of societal institutions. Governments, in this view, are established to protect these rights or becomes tyrannical. Individuals have the right to resist or overthrow it. But in essence, Locke's ideas on natural rights have had a profound influence on subsequent political thought and played a significant role in shaping the concept of human rights. This emphasis on individual rights and role of government as a protector of those rights has been foundational in the development of modern liberal democracies. So the third learning insight from Locke's philosophical perspective is the social contract. Locke's social contract theory posits that individuals enter into a social contract to establish a civil government, relinquishing some freedoms to secure protection of their natural rights. If the government fails to protect these rights, the contract is broken and citizens have the right to resist or replace it. It is contended that political authority is based on social contract, where individuals voluntarily agree to form a government to secure their rights. This contract implies that the power of the government to secure is not absolute but limited by the terms agreed upon in the contract. To better understand the concept of social contract, it is contended that political authority is based on a social contract, where individuals voluntarily agree to form a government to secure their rights. This contract implies that the power of the government to secure is not absolute but limited by the terms agreed upon in the contract. Locke's social contract theory laid the groundwork for later democratic and liberal theories of government. It influenced the development of constitutional governance, the separation of powers, and the idea that governments exist to serve interests and protect the rights of their citizens. So the fourth learning insight is the limited government. It involves constraining the authority of the government to specified rules, protecting individual rights, and ensuring that the government operates within the boundaries set by the consent of the governed. His ideas influenced the framers of the U.S. Constitution limitations on governmental power. To better understand the concept of limited government, these are some of the key points regarding Locke's idea of limited government. So the first one is the protection of natural right, the social contract and consent, the enumerated powers, the separation of powers, and the right to revolution. So these key concepts emphasizes the restriction of governmental power to protect individual rights and prevent tyranny. So to better understand this, tyranny refers to the oppressive powers of government, meaning this prevents the government to not be autocratic. Limited government meaning there would still be a government governing the state, but under democratic system. This quite relates to the social contract, wherein it emphasizes more on the rights of the people in a state. So for the fifth learning insight from John Locke's philosophical perspective is the religious toleration. Locke argued for religious toleration and separation of church and state. He believes that individuals should have the freedom to practice their religion without interference from the government, promoting the idea of pluralism in society. Locke's advocacy for religious tolerance is articulated in his seminal work, A Letter Concerning Toleration. Locke's concept of religious toleration is grounded in his broader political philosophy and views on the role of government. So to expound this concept of religious toleration, this emphasizes his point that there should be a clear separation between religious and political authority, because he believes that the authority of the government should be limited to civil matters and it should not interfere with the beliefs and practices of individuals in their religious life. And people also have the right to choose and practice their religion without concern. So in essence, Locke's concept of religious toleration deeply rooted in his commitment to individual rights, limited government, and the idea that a diverse and tolerant society is more conducive to civil peace. His ideas on religious toleration have had a profound influence on the development of modern notions of religious freedom. That would be all for my report about the 5 learning insights from John Locke's philosophical perspective. I hope you learned something today and have a nice day.